Lamb Watch.
Thank you, Bill. Well, I haven't heard my high school record in a long time. I get harassed about that all the time by the boys out on tour. I don't know whether we're holding a press conference today or a family reunion. I look out and I see Kathy, Essex, Barb. I see her more than my mother. Talk to her. Kurt, I see you and talk to you more than my brother. So, we always talk about McCormick being our home, and it just feels more and more like that every year. So I want to thank you guys for having us back, making us feel at home. I am excited this year. I'll have an opportunity to enjoy it a little more, I think, now that Todd's taken over the director duties for me. Be excited and interested to get Barb out there and see if she and y'all keep us out of trouble this week, since we're not putting as much work as previous years. Just to give a little background on the tour for those that are new, that aren't familiar with the NGA Tour, it was founded in 1988 by Rick T.C. Jordan. Then Bob Brooks with the Hooters of America Corporation came aboard as title sponsor in 1994. After the one-year agreement, Mr. Brooks saw the benefits and actually took over the tour from Rick T.C. Jordan in 95. Then recently, we just lost Hooters as a title sponsor this past year. So we've changed the name now. It's no longer the NGA Hooters Pro Golf Tour. We are known as the NGA Pro Golf Tour. We've seen 14 major champions come through our ranks, everywhere from Ben Curtis's surprise British Open victory, coming from our tour to the PGA Tour in the next year, to sure things like Zach Johnson, who dominated this tour for 2 years. He got the nickname back-to-back-to-back Zach, because he won 3 tournaments in a row out here. You could see big things. I don't know if anyone ever saw a Masters Championship, but there was no one more prouder than our staff when he won the Masters in '07. Just recently, Keegan Bradley, our latest alumni to take home our major championship, won the PGA Championship last year. Excited to see guys, and just goes to show you, guys like Keegan, we had 15 winners on the PGA Tour last year. Guys like Gary Woodland, Scott Stallings, who never won an NGA event, to show you how competitive it is out here. These guys train, as Todd mentioned, nothing gets them more prepared than events like McCormick. When we look back at last year's event, a five-player playoff, and they had to go to the second extra hole. When you look at those guys now, Philip Pettit, Reed Edstrom, Will Wilcox, all full-time nationwide tour this year. It makes you take a step back and look and say, the experience of playing in front of crowds that get behind the event like the Village here, it's immeasurable for these guys. So the more events they get like that, the more it helps them succeed up on the bigger tours. Just the other two in that playoff, Jeff Poor's got conditional status this year, so we don't know if he'll be back. And then Patton Kazire's got to be wondering, what happened to him, because he didn't make final stage, but hopefully this year we'll get him up. This past year was a banner year for the tour. For those who aren't aware, we had 9 players that made the jump in season to the nationwide tour. That's unheard of for a developmental tour. The most previous in a year was two players. So we had a 3-week span where we had 4 players in a 3-week span move up. So just excited for what the future brings for this year's event, for this year's crop. As Todd mentioned, you could kind of say we've got some older players coming back. Probably the most known around here is Major Manning out of Augusta State's back with us full time. Lost his status. Other guys like Todd Bailey, Travis Bertoni, Scott Weatherly, Will Strickler lost his PGA Tour status. So they've all fallen back and trying to work their way up. But you could say this could be the year of the rookie or a youth movement. We've got over 70 rookies out on tour this year, which is unheard of. Makes Kathy's job a lot more fun finding new houses for all these kids. Or the old guys come back and they can call the families direct and set it up. So Kathy's job just became a little tougher this year. But we got 3 All-Nicholas players out here this year as rookies. Oscar Stark, Justin Lauer, Jonathan Randolph. Remember the names. These are guys that are out of the top 20 players coming out of college. And anyone familiar with this last year's college crowd, it's one of the strongest seen in years. I mean, Bud Colley's having success up on the PGA Tour. Russell Henley, and the list goes on of kids coming out this year that have made the jump. We've also got young upstarts, first and second year players that have won events this year already. Hudson Johnson out of Vanderbilt, Tyson Alexander out of Florida, both second year players. And then Ken Looper, another name to remember. He kind of got overshadowed by John Peterson at LSU with Peterson's comments, and Peterson finishing runner-up in a nationwide tour event. But Looper, a lot of players say is as good a sure thing as you'll see out there. We've got 3 players that have played in the Masters. Jack Newman out of Michigan State, Lyon Kim, who's a rookie out of Michigan, USAM Pub Links champion, and Drew Kittleson, who was a U.S. amateur runner-up at Florida State, have all played in the Masters. So they've got that experience in trying to make that jump. So we just want to tell you how great it's going to be. Look forward to seeing a lot of young kids out here this year, and a lot of kids that are making the move quicker and quicker, and hopefully be joining the ranks of like the Chris Blanks and the Camilo Villegas, the previous winners here that have gone on to the PGA Tour. So once again, on behalf of the NJ Tour, I want to thank everyone for being out here and supporting this event. Thank you, Savannah Lakes Village. Thank you, Kurt. Thank you, David Twiggs. Thank you, August Field. Thank you, Barr, for all the years you've made developing this tournament. And just want to thank y'all for having us back and making us feel at home again. Like, I don't know if we might have to rename the event to the reunion or something, but thank y'all again for having us.